Catching up now with the head coach of the Liberty men's and women's track and field squads, and that is Brant Tolsma here with us as the season is pretty much winding down here. Jocelyn Williams wraps things up for the outdoor season with a 16th place finish at Nationals here just about a week ago. But, Coach, as you kind of reflect back over the course of the season, a lot to celebrate, and we'll get some of that in a moment. But let's first talk about Jocelyn and her performance at Nationals. What were your impressions that you took away?
Well, we were certainly hoping she would come in with a good first throw, and when we saw the first throw going to the net, it's like, ooh. And that put a little pressure on her for her second throw. Her second throw, she didn't look relaxed enough. She was too tentative, and it was short. So we came down to one throw. And so at that point, I was like, oh, boy, all the way out here, all this for 3 throws. And then her third throw was much more typical of her. And fortunately, it was just good enough to garner a All-American spot, second-team All-American. It's one of the things a lot of athletes strive for, to get that behind their name, because that'll go with them through life. And so we were certainly celebrating the result there after the first 2 throws.
Yeah, as you said, a second-team All-America spot for Jocelyn, and it was her first trip to Nationals. How exciting is that for you to see an athlete make their first trip out there?
Well, that's most of what we end up getting. Most of the athletes that we get to Nationals are not ones that come in as superstars. And Jocelyn had never even thrown the hammer. So that's one reason we redshirted her, gave her an extra year, and by the time she was down to her 5th year, despite a bunch of adversity, she's able to get there. We wish we had one more year, because I would feel really good going into next year if she had another year. But she continues to, she plans to continue to try to throw and see if she can get up to the level it takes in the USA Nationals.
3 Big South championships this year, men's indoor and outdoor, and then the women's outdoor as well. The way that they competed in conference and continue just to carry the banner for the Big South, how pleased are you?
Well, we're so thankful with the Big South result. After 2 weeks later, I was still celebrating, because our men just came together like a team and had a dominating performance, and it made it look like it was no problem. But we were going to be challenged there, but we just stepped up. And the women were able to do what it took to get back on the top, and we've been losing to Coastal for a while, so that was really sweet. And you put them both together, it's like having your ice cream with whipped cream and a cherry on top.
You look at some of the accomplishments for the men's team this year, and you go back, the men's squad won the Virginia Cup and the Duke Invitational, knocked off teams like Clemson, Duke, North Carolina, NC State, and Virginia in head-to-head competition. Those are some big names. Well,
it would be nice if we could do that at Nationals. Typically, our team is a good across-the-board team. We have 3 or 4 athletes in every event, and a lot of your ACC, SEC teams don't necessarily, they try to specialize a little bit. They're going more for the truly elite athlete. So if we go in a meet with 4, 5, 6 teams against them, we really can hold our own. We need to continue to improve our elite level athletes. We need to start getting higher level athletes and getting more people that can do things at the national level, and that'll help us to be competitive with them at Nationals. But there's many things that make up a good team. You could be a good national team, you could be a good regional team, you could be a good conference team, and the really good teams are all of those. They're good at the conference level, good at the regional level, good at the national level, and that's what we would like to be. Ultimately, we would like to be a team that's good at every level. That's what the school wants for us, because they want us to win conference, but they want us to do well at Nationals. And I think Liberty is such a special place that we certainly have the opportunity to move in that direction and do that in the future.
You took 15 student athletes to East preliminaries, and that's the most here in a couple of years, and a lot of them were Lady Flames as well. Is that a good sign here that you are starting to kind of build that depth?
I think so, but we want to get 20, 25, 30 athletes there. And I feel like of those 15 we took, 11 are back. Plus, we had a couple that should be able to go that on the team already, and then we got some recruits that should go. So I think a good goal for us next year would be about 20, but also it's a good goal to see that number going up every year. And you might drop down once in a while, but even as I look at a team like South Carolina, which was more middle of the road in the SEC, they had 45 athletes at regionals between men and women. So they're still well ahead of us, and we got a lot of room to move. We've got goals. We have opportunities to get better, and Liberty is providing everything we need to get better. So that's just on us now. We have to keep doing the things that year after year. What was great last year is not going to be as good next year. We need to get better.
You speak a little bit to your team MVPs, Fred Fulton and Abigail Flower, and what they meant this year?
Well, Abby's been a special athlete all the way through for 4 years, and she's really developed, and she had some really hard times with the loss of her dear friend Darius Dixon during her junior year, and to see her come all the way back and then become a dominating player, go to the regional. She was 100th shy of regional finals in both the 100 and the 200, and that's really close, but it's the process that's so rewarding. To see her come so far back and do so well was certainly very gratifying and satisfying, and we're thankful we still have her twin sister for one more year. And Fred, as we knew he was going to be good all along, he came to Liberty in order to try to develop more in the hammer and the discus. He was already a good shot putter, and that's coming on. He's improving, and another year, we're really glad we have him for another year. I think that if he was a dominant athlete this year, next year he should even be more dominant. So we're excited to have him as a senior next year, and I think he'll be a real boost to the program next year as well.
Lastly, you got one more trip to Oregon coming up here, one more event for you.
Yeah, Darryl Jones is qualified in the junior national triple jump. He's been battling some ankle issues, so it was questionable whether he would go, but he said his ankle's good enough, and so we're going out there to Oregon one more time. He jumps actually on my 40th wedding anniversary. So that's what I'll be doing to celebrate my 40th wedding anniversary. I'll be at the Junior National Track and Field Championship. But
sure, you'll be sending flowers to the missus, though, right?
That doesn't mean that I love him more than I love my wife. That is definitely not true. But she's come to understand, and we will pick another date to celebrate that. But I guess for the rest of my life, I'll remember what I did on my 40th. But yeah, he's a young, promising athlete who, if he can stay healthy, and has a great career ahead of him, and it's really nice for him to have an opportunity to compete at another national meet. He competed at National High School last year and finished third, and he's going to junior nationals this year, and hopefully by next year he'll be at the NCAA national as well.
Very good. Well, Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you safe travels and happy early anniversary.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the men's and women's track and field teams here at Liberty University, Brant Tolsma. My name is Nick Pierce for the Liberty Flame Sports Network.